Hi guys, this is Oliver, and today I'm going to talk about The Boys Season 5, why the finale for Season 5 is honestly overhated. A lot of people online are calling the season disappointing, and while I do agree the middle episodes had problems, I think the ending absolutely delivered. So in this video we will talk about that crazy, insane finale, as well as my review of the season as a whole. I have also built some The Boys themed rides in Planet Coaster 2, so go check out that video on my channel if you haven't already. And I am currently working on a upcoming Soldier Boy ride, Soldier Boy Father of God, which is the ride from the show. First of all, I want to talk about how great the first two episodes were of Season 5, especially Episode 1. It immediately felt darker, more intense, and the tension between the characters was great. The pacing was fast, the action was brutal, and it reminded me of why I loved this show in the first place. The best thing about this episode was Adrian's ending. His death was honestly one of the saddest moments in the entire show, but also one of the most powerful. The slow motion scene of him saving Huey was incredible because it showed how much he had changed from the selfish person he used to be in Season 1. What makes it even better is that the fact that he finally stood up to Homelander instead of being terrified of him like everyone else, like the Deep was. That scene felt like the completion of his redemption arc. And honestly, I think Adrian is easily the best written character in this entire show. He started as this arrogant celebrity who cared about himself, but over time, the guilt, fear, and pressure slowly changed him. His arc actually felt earned because it took multiple seasons for him to finally do the right thing. It wasn't just shocking, it actually meant something for me emotionally. Now, I'm not gonna pretend that the season was perfect by any means. The middle part definitely dragged. There were too many filler moments, and it honestly felt like they spent way too much time setting up the spin-off show Vought Rising instead of focusing on the main story. Soldier Boy's inclusion this season was completely pointless. They only put him in the season to set up his spin-off show. The fact that they just wasted Soldier Boy like that. Some episodes felt more like setup than actual progression to the story. But that being said, I also think that I actually think that Firecracker's ending was honestly satisfying. She wasn't the best character by any means, but I think she was still a great character, and the way they ended her character, the last episode with her, was great, honestly. And I also think that Black Noir's death was satisfying, because I wasn't the biggest fan of this new Noir. So the fact that Deep, of all people, killed him was so satisfying. The GOAT himself. But the finale completely saved the season for me. It actually felt emotional, intense, and satisfying. The stakes finally felt real again, and unlike a lot of modern shows, this season actually took risks. And honestly, that's the reason I think it worked much better than Stranger Things Season 5, because they actually killed off characters. One of my biggest complaints with Stranger Things 5 is that it felt scared to kill off important characters, but The Boys actually commits to its consequences. Characters die, decisions matter, and because of that, the tension feels way higher. The fight between Homelander, Butcher, Kimiko, and Ryan was so epic and awesome. The fact that Homelander finally died was so satisfying to watch, because the entire show has built up to it this whole time. So if he would have survived, the show would have sucked. They landed the plane. They gave us a satisfying ending, which was great. The moment Ryan just flew towards him into the White House was just so satisfying. Oh my god, I was like cheering and clapping. Oh my god, absolute cinema, honestly. So amazing. I also really loved that we got the song Piano Man by Billy Joel, and that final shot of Huey smiling, watching Starlight fly away into the sky and being hopeful about the future was perfect. They nailed a lot in this finale. The finale was honestly better than expected, and one major thing that is important for any series finale is that do the characters have satisfying endings? The majority of them do. The only characters that did not have satisfying endings was Sage. I really liked her in season 4, but in season 5 she sucked. She was so stupid. And when Kimiko shot her with her laser beam in the finale, it was so satisfying to watch. And when she said she was going to Orlando, to the Harry Potter section, Universal Studios, I love that reference. And also the Gen V characters were super wasted. Like, oh my god. Gen V is probably the most pointless spin-off ever, because like they set up that, oh, Marie is going to take down Homelander, she's stronger than Homelander, and then she never even got to fight Homelander. She was just in season 5 for like 2-3 scenes and then drove away in a truck. That's it. Then that's all they did. Like, I would have loved to see if like maybe Marie joined the fight in the White House. That I think I would do if I would direct the finale. Like, maybe have her join the fight as well. But of course they didn't, because they... Why? What were they thinking?
What was I thinking?
And it's also one of those shows where it ended right when it needed to. Right when the show was about to lose its steam. The ending, the final episode might have been a bit too predictable at times, but I would rather have them have an ending that makes sense than something just for shock value. Before the finale came out, I thought it was going to be terrible because there were a bunch of rumors that Homelander was going to win in the end, and I would have hated that ending. Thank God it didn't end like that. Homelander losing his powers and being killed by Butcher, just like in the comics, was so satisfying to watch. It makes perfect sense that he killed Homelander and also died later in the episode, because his obsession with the mission drove everyone else away. And the fight between Hughie and Butcher was so emotional. The ending they gave Butcher was so emotional and heartbreaking. And also the friendship between Hughie and Butcher has been so amazing throughout the whole show. So the fact that Hughie actually shot Butcher and the way they ended it felt so emotional and full circle for the characters. So yeah, I totally understand the criticisms in the middle of the season, but people are way too harsh on the finale. Some of the dumbest criticism, most forced hate I've ever seen. The beginning was strong, the middle was messy, but the ending delivered the emotional payoff and high stakes that I wanted to see. And that's why, in my opinion, The Boys season 5 finale is overhated. The fact that the final battle of the show was in the White House makes perfect sense, because Homelander is inspired by Donald Trump. Basically Donald Trump with superpowers, and it also happened in the comics, but which I probably will never read. But and also I think that Kimiko was probably one of the best characters in season 5. She was amazing this season. Cary Fukuhara, amazing performance. One of my personal favorite characters of the show. Loved the Deep also. Chase Crawford was amazing. Rest in peace to him, by the way. I think that was honestly sad. I wish they didn't treat him as a joke all the time, but and that he actually stood up to Homelander and fought him or something. But at the same time, that would be out of character for him, I guess. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And I honestly think that The Boys is one of my favorite shows. Even though season 4 sucked and season 4 and 5 weren't as good as seasons 1 to 3, I still think that it is one of my personal favorite shows, because how incredible and how many highs there were. There were some lows, don't get me wrong, season 4 in particular, but there were also like mini highs this season. Amazing characters. I still prefer, like in my TV show, my favorite TV shows of all time, I think Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are up here. The Boys is somewhere over here in the middle, I think. But still a great show, honestly. It could have been better towards the end, but it could have been much worse. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!